So what I wanted to do today is kind of like super nuts and bolts navigating some websites that will help you with investing or with any kind of home buying. I want to talk about the Appraisal District website. This is if you are getting into investing, if you're getting into home buying, you want to be familiar with this site. You want to look properties up on this site. This is the appraisal district that decides what each home valuation is going to be for property taxes. That's kind of like their um, the main reason most of us log in to the appraisal district. So if you are looking up a property, like this is kind of interesting, kind of freaky, I guess. But you can basically find out where anybody lives by coming to this site, unless they've taken some steps to like hide it. Most people, if they own a home, you can find their address right here. So sometimes I freak my clients out because I like already know their address and they're like, what's wrong with you? So you go here to property search. So if you missed that, I did online services and then property search. All right, so you can put into this field either a name or an address. So if you're driving around and you see a house that's kind of run down and you're like, I want to buy that house, or I want to find out who owns that house so I can approach them, you can throw the address in here. So I'm going to use one of my rental property addresses because I don't want to like be showing somebody else's information on the internet. And so I just put in one of our rental property addresses. And so you can see right here, it tells you exactly who owns it. And you can find, so we recently moved last year and they apparently still haven't updated our address, which is kind of crazy because they sent it like 6 months ago. So I probably need to check back with them to make sure they got it. But basically you can find out so much information on this site. So you can find out the legal description, the zoning. Like here, if you are looking at a lot of San Antonio, like multifamily properties are not zoned multifamily. It's like a house that somebody got a little creative with, but they didn't rezone it. And so if you wanted to find that out, you can look right here in the first section here. Like I said, you can find out the mailing address. If you expand this one, you can see how much it's appraised at. One thing that a lot of people ask is whether the appraised value here is like actually the value of the home. It's absolutely not. So this is what the appraisal district is using to tax the home. And you want that to be as low as possible. If you are a homeowner, you will fight that each year if you're smart to keep it low. You don't want it to be the actual value of the home. So like this house was appraised in December at 200,000. But it's assessed here at 165 because I like keep it low. So don't confuse that. Like if you're looking at a house and they have a sales price, that has nothing to do with this. This is just for taxing purposes. And then here is where you're going to look for the taxes. Now, one thing in San Antonio, you guys from out of state already know, like the property taxes are super high. That can really affect whether or not something is a deal. One thing you may not know is that Texas has a lot of different exemptions that you can claim to your property taxes. And a lot of them have to do with military. So San Antonio is a military city, USA. So a lot of houses have exemptions on them. So when you're looking, you want to make sure that you are using in your numbers the taxes without exemptions. Because I know, like I have a friend who has a Purple Heart and he pays 0 property taxes, right? So you don't want to use 0 because as an investor, if you buy that house and rent it out, you're going to be paying the full amount. So make sure you log in and check this. And then also, if you're looking at listings, sometimes it'll be like a little bit delayed. So even once 2021 is available for several months, it'll still show you 2020, like later this year. So log into BCAT and use this property tax number just to be on the safe side. And then here, obviously, it's telling you the square footage and it'll tell you the year built. So I use that a lot, like as an agent when I'm listing homes. But you know, if you're listing a rental property and you need that, you know, those details, it's easy to find here. And then the land is just the, you know, the land size. It's not that big a deal. And then this is the over time, how much the taxes have increased each year. And then the deed history is where you can find out like who has owned it in the past, and you know, it'll show you the last three. So that's important because you can see, like I use it a lot, like to find out if a house is like a flip or, you know, if it's recently been bought or sold. Like it just kind of gives you more information about who owns it, how long they've owned it. Sometimes you'll see like it'll be the same last name, so you can kind of assume that it was like a parent or grandparent granting it down to their children or grandchildren. You know, it's just good to like, if you're going to go in and talk to somebody about trying to buy their home, to have all of that information ready to go. So, you know, it took me a while to explain it, but it only takes, you know, a minute to look through all of this. So it's just really, really looking through this and making sure that everything matches, because people can make mistakes or enter information wrong. So just being sure that everything that you think you're getting is what you're getting. And then the other website that I wanted to show you guys is the deed search website. And so you can get here through the county clerk office or the county clerk website. But I will put this link like in the email that Katie sends out and in the description of the YouTube video. You can put an address, you can put a name. You know, like we were just looking at one of my properties, so we can do this and find like any public records having to do with this property. And so you can find the deeds. Sometimes I use this like if it's a flipped house and I'm like representing a buyer that's buying it. I can sometimes come in here, and if they have like a hard money loan, it'll be registered here in the deed records. And sometimes it'll show like how much the hard money loan was for. And then I can work backwards and find out like, okay, how much do they have? You know, how much are they going to make off this sale? Like how much can we negotiate? So you can use it for tricky things like that. But you can also just use it to find out, again, like who owns a piece of land. If there are any like tax liens and things that can show up here. So you can just see here, like deed of trust is who the loan was with. I mean, it's public knowledge, like public records here, and you can find out every mortgage that was on it. Like I said, tax liens. I'm trying to think of anything else. Oh, you can also find out like subdivision information. Like if there are restrictions on land, you can find them here as well. It's a little trickier to find those. You've got to try a lot of different search terms. But if you're buying a piece of land and you're worried about the restrictions, sometimes you can find them here.